The hip-hop world is once again watching as one of the biggest names in rap finds himself surrounded by a wave of controversy. Rick Ross has built a career on confidence, luxury, and the ability to turn any moment into a headline. But now, after a situation involving some of the biggest names in the culture, the conversation has reached another level. And when Drake and 50 Cent enter the discussion, everyone starts paying attention. Because when two powerful figures like Drake and 50 Cent are connected to a story, fans know the reaction can become bigger than the original situation. Social media started exploding with debates, opinions, and questions. What really happened behind the scenes? Why did this situation become so intense? And could this change how fans look at one of hip-hop's most recognizable personalities? From viral clips to heated discussions online, every detail is being analyzed. Some fans believe this is just another chapter in the endless back and forth of rap entertainment. Others believe something deeper is happening behind the scenes. But one thing is certain. When Rick Ross, Drake, and 50 Cent become part of the same conversation, the entire culture starts watching. And now, the biggest question remains. Is this just another viral moment? Or is hip-hop witnessing a situation that could leave a lasting impact? Before this latest wave of attention, Rick Ross had already built one of the most recognizable stories in modern hip-hop. Born William Leonard Roberts II, Rick Ross transformed himself from an artist with a dream into one of rap's biggest personalities. With his deep voice, luxury image, and larger-than-life presence, he created a brand that represented success, business, and independence. When Ross entered the mainstream with his breakout music, many fans saw him as a new force in the industry. But over time, he became much more than just a rapper. He became an entrepreneur, a label executive, and a person known for creating conversations inside hip-hop. Through Maybach Music Group, Ross built a movement that helped introduce and develop artists while creating his own lane in the industry. His reputation became connected to luxury, confidence, and the ability to stay relevant through different eras of rap. But success in hip-hop often comes with competition. And when you reach a certain level, every friendship, disagreement, business decision, and public comment can become part of the story. That is where names like Drake and 50 Cent enter the conversation. Drake became one of the most commercially successful artists of his generation. His ability to dominate charts, connect with fans worldwide, and remain at the center of cultural conversations made him one of the most influential figures in music. Over the years, his relationships throughout the industry have often become topics of discussion because of his massive influence. Then there's 50 Cent. 50 has built a reputation unlike almost anyone else in hip-hop. After becoming a superstar rapper, he expanded into television, business, and entertainment while maintaining his reputation as someone who is not afraid to speak publicly. His comments, jokes, and online reactions have become moments that fans immediately notice. When these three names become connected to the same conversation, people naturally pay attention, because each person represents a different part of hip-hop power. Rick Ross represents independence, business, and the luxury side of rap. Drake represents modern dominance and global influence. 50 Cent represents longevity, business moves, and a willingness to challenge others publicly. But behind the fame and success are complicated relationships. Hip-hop has always been built on competition, alliances, and changing dynamics. Artists can collaborate one moment and find themselves on opposite sides of a conversation later. That constant movement creates some of the biggest stories in the culture. Fans often look beyond the music. They analyze interviews. They study social media posts. They search for hidden messages. And they try to understand what is really happening behind the scenes. That is why any situation involving Rick Ross receives so much attention. His personality has always been connected to confidence and directness. He is someone who rarely avoids the spotlight. But when multiple major figures become involved, the conversation becomes bigger than one person. It becomes about influence, power, and how the biggest names in hip-hop navigate moments of tension. And now, with Drake and 50 Cent being pulled into the discussion, fans are asking whether this is just another entertainment storyline, or if something much deeper is developing behind the scenes. The moment Rick Ross became the center of another major online discussion, the internet did what it always does. It moved faster than the facts. Within hours, fans were sharing clips, reposting old interviews, comparing past lyrics, and trying to connect different moments from years of hip-hop history into one story. Suddenly, timelines were flooded with theories about what this latest situation could mean. Then came the first major twist. Instead of focusing only on Rick Ross, the conversation quickly expanded to include Drake and 50 Cent. Both artists have enormous influence, but they represent very different styles of navigating controversy. Drake is known for letting his music, occasional statements, and strategic moves speak for him. 50 Cent, on the other hand, has built a reputation for reacting publicly to major entertainment stories, often using humor, sarcasm, and social media to make his point. Because of those reputations, fans immediately began watching for any comments, posts, or indirect every interview clip, every social media post. People searched for hidden meaning. They compared timestamps. They revisited older conversations involving Rick Ross and both artists, asking whether this was simply another chapter in long-running rivalries or just the internet connecting unrelated events. That became the real conflict. It was no longer only about one headline. It became a debate over perception. Some fans believed the situation showed how quickly online narratives can grow when famous names are involved. Others argued that the attention reflected years of history between some of hip-hop's biggest personalities. Regardless of which view people supported, the discussion revealed something important about today's music industry. Public opinion can develop long before complete information becomes available. A short clip can trend worldwide within minutes. A single post can generate thousands of reactions. And once a narrative gains momentum, separating confirmed facts from speculation becomes increasingly difficult. That is why this moment attracted so much attention. People were not only interested in what happened, they wanted to understand what it meant. Would this create another public back and forth? Would anyone directly address the growing speculation? Or would the conversation fade as quickly as it appeared? As fans continued analyzing every development, the focus shifted from one event to the larger relationships between artists, media personalities, and online audiences. Because in today's hip-hop landscape, every headline has two stories. There is a confirmed information, and then there's a story created by millions of people discussing it online. And sometimes, the second story becomes even bigger than the first. With attention continuing to build, another wave of reactions was about to push the conversation into an entirely new direction. As the conversation continued growing, the situation surrounding Rick Ross became a bigger discussion about power, influence, and loyalty inside hip-hop. The second major twist was that fans started looking beyond the immediate situation and began examining the history between some of the biggest names involved. In rap, relationships are rarely simple. Artists can respect each other while competing at the same time. They can collaborate on one project and later find themselves on different sides of a public conversation. That constant shift is part of what makes hip-hop one of the most unpredictable cultures in entertainment. With Rick Ross, Drake, and 50 Cent all connected to the discussion, fans immediately started analyzing the bigger picture. They looked at previous interviews. They revisited old social media moments. They studied collaborations, disagreements, and public comments from the past. Some fans believe the situation represented a deeper change in the balance of influence within the industry. Others believe the internet was simply creating another viral storyline from separate moments. But regardless of the opinion, one thing was undeniable. Attention was at an all-time high. Rick Ross has always understood the power of branding and conversation. Throughout his career, he has remained visible by creating moments that keep fans talking. Whether through music, business moves, or public appearances, he has consistently stayed part of the culture. That ability to remain relevant is one of the reasons every situation involving him receives major attention. Meanwhile, Drake's involvement created another layer because of his position in modern music. For years, Drake has been one of the most influential artists in the world, and anything connected to his name naturally creates headlines. Then there's 50 Cent, whose reputation for speaking openly adds another unpredictable element. Fans know that when 50 enters a conversation, the reaction can become its own story. But the deeper issue behind all of this is how hip-hop handles conflict in the digital era. Years ago, disagreements might have happened through interviews, songs, or private conversations. Today, everything can become public instantly. A comment can become a headline, a reaction can become a trending topic, and a disagreement can become a worldwide debate. This has changed the way artists protect their image and communicate with fans. Every move is watched, every word is analyzed, And every interaction can be interpreted in multiple ways. As the situation continued developing, fans began asking a bigger question. Is this really about one moment? Or is it part of a larger conversation about who controls influence in hip-hop? Because the industry has changed. New platforms have created new ways for artists to build power. Social media has become just as important as radio and television. And the ability to create conversation has become one of the biggest forms of influence. That is why this situation captured so much attention. It represented more than just a disagreement or reaction. It represented the ongoing battle for attention, respect, and legacy in a culture where perception can change overnight. And as more people joined the discussion, the emotional reaction from fans and the industry began revealing just how much these moments matter. As the conversation around Rick Ross continued spreading, the reaction from fans showed just how powerful celebrity moments have become in modern hip-hop. What started as a discussion involving a few major names quickly became a larger debate about loyalty, reputation, and the way artists handle public pressure. Fans across social media began sharing their opinions from completely different perspectives. Some supporters focused on Rick Ross' long career and the impact he has had on the culture. They pointed to his ability to stay relevant, build businesses, and create a lasting name in an industry where many artists struggle to maintain attention. Others focused on the controversy itself and questioned what the situation could mean moving forward. That division created the emotional center of the conversation. One side viewed the situation through a lens of respect and legacy. The other side viewed it through the lens of competition and accountability. Meanwhile, discussions about Drake and 50 Cent continued because fans understood the influence both artists carry. When names as powerful become connected to a conversation, every reaction becomes amplified. A simple comment can become a headline, a social media post can become a debate, and a moment that lasts only a few seconds can create days of discussion. This is the reality of modern hip-hop. The audience is no longer only listening to songs. They are following stories. They are watching relationships. They are analyzing every interaction between artists, and they are trying to understand the moves happening behind the scenes. Many fans also began discussing how difficult it is for artists to maintain friendships and business relationships while competing in the same industry. Hip-hop has always been built around ambition. Every artist wants success. Every artist wants recognition. And when multiple successful figures share the same space, disagreements and different opinions are almost inevitable. But the public reaction also highlighted another important issue: the difference between entertainment and reality. Online conversations can make every situation appear more dramatic than it actually is. Fans may see clips and headlines, but they usually do not see private conversations, personal relationships, or the full context behind a moment. That is why stories involving major celebrities often continue evolving. New information appears, new reactions happen, and public opinion changes. The biggest impact of this situation was showing how much influence these artists have beyond music. Rick Ross, Drake, and 50 Cent are not just entertainers. They are brands, they are businesses, and they are personalities who can shape conversations across the culture. As fans continued debating, one question remained. When the internet finally moves on to the next headline, how will this moment be remembered? As another viral debate, or as a turning point in the ongoing story of hip-hop power and influence? After all the reactions, debates, and conversations surrounding Rick Ross, Drake, and 50 Cent, the biggest twist is that the story became about much more than one situation. It became a reflection of how power works in modern hip-hop. Because today, influence is not measured only by record sales or chart positions. It is measured by attention, by the ability to create conversation, and by the impact a person has when their name becomes part of a major discussion. That is why moments involving artists at this level become so important. Fans are not just watching what happens. They are watching how everyone responds. They are studying the moves. They are analyzing the silence. And they are trying to understand what comes next. The final twist is that sometimes the biggest story is not the conflict itself. It is the reaction that follows. One person's statement can create another person's response. That response can create another headline. And suddenly, a single moment becomes part of a much larger cultural conversation. For Rick Ross, the situation adds another chapter to a career built around staying visible and remaining part of the conversation. For Drake, it highlights a level of attention that follows one of the most influential artists of his generation. For 50 Cent, it once again shows how his personality and public reactions continue to create headlines. But the unanswered question remains: where does this story go from here? Will more details change how fans view the situation? Will another response create an even bigger conversation? Or will this become another moment that shows how quickly the internet can turn a single event into a worldwide debate? Because in hip-hop, stories rarely end when the cameras stop recording. They continue through discussions, through opinions, through memories, and through the way fans choose to remember them. And as the culture watches the next move, one thing is certain: when names as powerful become part of the same conversation, the world pays attention. After breaking down the entire situation, one thing is clear. In hip-hop, the story behind the story is often what keeps people talking. Rick Ross, Drake, and 50 Cent are three names that have shaped different parts of the culture, and whenever they become connected to a major conversation, fans around the world pay attention. But now we want to hear from you. What do you think about the way situations like this spread through hip-hop? Do you believe social media makes controversies bigger than they really are? Or do you think these moments reveal the real relationships and power dynamics behind the scenes? How do you think this situation will be remembered? Will it become another viral moment that disappears over time? Or could it become another important chapter in hip-hop history? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let everyone know your opinion. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more hip-hop stories, industry discussions, and deep dives into the biggest moments happening in entertainment. Because in this culture, every headline has a story, every reaction creates a new conversation, and every moment can change the way fans see their favorite artists. Stay tuned for the next chapter.